Kyle Shanahan had a lead and didn't in the second half of the NFC Championship and didn't win the game. So however you want to define it, right? Did he choke? Did he blow it? How do we look at this is going to be, I think, a part of Kyle. The big picture with Kyle is he's not going anywhere. So this is not that conversation, right? But how much of it's on Kyle Shanahan's shoulders is going to be a big conversation over the course of the week.
I think just big picture, does he have a blowing lead problems? If it was 17-7, 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, that'd be hard to shake. It was 17-14 pretty early in the fourth quarter. So he didn't have a commanding lead late in the game. I do think there's a series that's going to be hard to shake. Now, we're big Kyle Juszczyk guys. I think everyone is a big Kyle Juszczyk guy. If you just watch the 49ers, Kyle Juszczyk's a stud. I do think Kyle Shanahan fucked up with the Trent Williams motion play. When he first did it last week against the Packers, it was badass. He hit that guy on defense. He flew. They went viral, and it was sweet. Whether you don't need to be some O-line enthusiast. You don't need to be Jeff Schwartz. Like, everyone liked that play, right? People like quarterbacks. People like everyone sharing that play. It was awesome. They replayed on the game. You're like, that was so badass. Then they went back to the well in that game. It did not work. You ran it twice. And listen, I've never.
Well, remember, it didn't work because Elijah Mitchell picked the wrong.
True, but like they ran the exact same play. So they did it twice in a game. What happened? Like, I've never coached in the NFL, but I've been around enough of these coaches and practices to know we are going to rep it at practice. Take a practice squad guy against our defense, a tackle, and have him motion. And if I'm Raheem Morris, what are some of the different plays? I don't know. I've known Kyle for a decade? He could do these 3 things out of this formation. He could maybe do a pitch. He could do a counter. He could do several things. So you are practicing against that play. So when Trent went in motion, I think that team would be more comfortable just seeing that. Now, as you said, he rounds it off. Technically, it's a penalty. You got to go straight.
He gets away with it.
But regardless, they're not catching anyone off guard. So when he calls the play, he kind of went back. One of the sweetest plays of the game by far, because it might have been the first time in history anyone's ever ran it, at least that I can remember, was the flea flicker screen. Because no one knows it's coming. You think in flea flicker, both of us stand up because I think he's going deep. And then he just dumps it off, and it works. Well, once that happened, you kind of go, well, they're probably, why would you not follow Trent? So you just kind of know. And I think it's never crazy to go behind one of the best players in the NFL. So it's like, I think Vince Lombardi's famous line, we're going to run this fucking play over and over, over and over, over and over. You watch the John Madden documentaries. He basically changed that. Like, Vince Lombardi play was his favorite play. Most coaches have a favorite play. To me, when it's kind of trickeration, I think that's one he'd like to have back. Now, this is where you have Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not going to go 4 wide, right? He's going to run the ball. He does have a lot of variations of runs. I don't love that play on 3rd down.
I'll tell you what, I easy for hindsight, but, we were watching it and talking about it as it unfolded. And I said to you before the 2nd and 1 play, nobody ever runs sneaks on 2nd and 1, which is understandable, right? 2nd and 1 is kind of a free play because if you don't, if you take a big shot, whatever, you don't get it, you still got 3rd and 1, you feel pretty good about it. Well, if you're going to run the ball with Elijah Mitchell, who's got 11 carries for 20 yards on the day, then I would have preferred. They ended up losing yardage on the play.
He got crushed.
I would have preferred. And again, you can confirm this. I started talking quarterback sneak before that play because I just thought at that point in the game, it was so critical to just keep the drive moving. I know it's probably from like a play calling value standpoint, a quarterback sneak on 2nd and 1 probably does not pencil in a lot of ways. But in a unique situation where you're not running the football effectively, I would have liked to have seen that play. At the end of the day, you have a 2nd and 1 and a 3rd and 2, and Deebo doesn't touch the ball either time. My preference would have been if you were going to run 2 plays and you knew you were going to try the Trent Williams play at some
Might
point.
have do it on 2nd down then.
Well, I would just hand the ball to Deebo twice in a row. Hand the ball to Deebo on 2nd and 1, hand the ball to Deebo on 3rd and 2. He was your better running back today. Can Deebo get a yard on 2 chances if you're going to do that twice? Because I said it earlier, right. And you just said it right here. Like, they were ready for the Trent Williams play. They were ready for something else off of the Trent Williams play. 100%. How could they not be? Doesn't mean you can't run it, but how could they not be? So I would have given the ball Deebo on 2nd and 1. Actually, I would have run a sneak on 2nd and 1. But we don't spend a lot of time here talking about, play calls. If the Pow MTL on the stream says if QB sneak shouldn't be called, maybe don't run halfback dive when you need 2 yards. Take a shot. Try another.
I actually think, Guy, you bring up you had just the most simple thought.
Give it to your best player twice.
He's not even just your best player. He is, when he scored that touchdown on the screen, I remember saying to you, like, this guy's had. We're fucking been watching NFL football now for 20 plus years, but 15 and on, right? He's had one of the best 10, 11 game stretches in the history of the league when you factor in how unique it is, right? What we're seeing. He is fucking dominating. He is an untackable force. And even sometimes when there are guys there, like one of the great parts about the NFL is the truly, truly best players can make something out of nothing. And sometimes you get fucked, right? Barry Sanders cuts back, Tyreek Hill cuts back. But every once in a while, especially in big spots, they're like, how did he get that? And to not give him the play, not give him the ball twice, you could have just not overthought it. Now, there was still a lot of time left. Maybe you're not thinking that's the critical time.
10 minutes left in the game.
But you would say 2nd and 2, basically midfield. That's a pretty big spot. That's a pretty critical spot. You're up 3 points. To not give it to Deebo to go down. And listen, I'm not against Juszczyk. He has been huge. But 3rd and 2, I don't know. I don't like that. Because I'm with you. It's like you can nitpick play calling. It's hard.
And Mitchell had just had a good run on 1st down, too, if I'm in defense of Mitchell.
One problem for the 49ers, and this goes back to Jimmy Garoppolo, is they are never going to throw the ball there. So, like, for example, their opponent could do a million things there, right? They could run pitch plays. They could run it up the gut. They could go spread it out and throw it. Like, they could do everything. Literally everything in their playbook in big spots, short yardage, long yardage is on. For the Niners.
But what's crazy is you should be able to throw it there with Jimmy.
I know, but Kyle just, in huge critical spots, if he doesn't have to. Because when he's had to, he will. When he has to, he holds on to it. I'm meaning Kyle, and just like, I can truly control this. I feel this play will work. Where I can just hand it off.
Yeah.
And just limit our chances at a turnover. But I'm with you. Like, they really don't have that many. Here's the other thing they didn't have really in their playbook is like a quick out. Like the Chiefs, bad day today, but have a lot of like quick little things.
Just when you need a yard or two.
Yeah, just a pass play. Now, part of it is like Andy's plays. His pass plays are actually his runs as well. He doesn't really run it. Kyle's passes sometimes are kind of runs too, right? Because, I mean, his one play.
Sprint red option.
But one play that has been massive for them over the last month or two has been the quick screen to Deebo. Like, that is something. How many times do you think Raheem Morris and those guys on defense just like, get ready for this quick screen? They ran it on both sides several times today.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Because at any moment he can take it 60 because he can break the tackles. But when that's your go-to pass play, it is kind of indicative of like your offense. And getting back to big spots, like he's just less likely to push the ball down the field when he doesn't have to do it. And I think, so we can crush his play calling, which is not good. Like I do not love it there, but I think he's always a little hamstrung when he doesn't want to fuck up. And I think a lot of times, like when they came back week 18, he had no choice, right? They're down 7 points. They get the ball back after he does the punt and calls the timeouts. They have to drive the field. They have no timeouts. He has to call all pass plays, right? Running deep routes, running different route combinations, and it worked. When he's up, he does not feel that his back's against the wall that way. And it does feel like he's more inclined to just call runs.
Do you think there was a yardage where he would have gone for it on 4th down there? Like it was a 4th and a long 2, right? It was like 2.5.
4th and a half yard, maybe he does. I mean, Jimmy's quarterback sneak was Tom Brady level. It works. Yeah. Like you watch Matt Stafford do the sneak. He does not, you don't go high. One thing that Brady and those guys do, they just have this, they figured it out in New England, whatever they did, right? Tom taught Jimmy and Jimmy fucking functions at it.
Yeah.
Stafford looked a little like, now part of it is Matt's big, probably thinks I can just get over. It's hard in these playoff games. Like, bro, these guys are fucking coming.
It was like a 1/3 of a yard. Too.
Yeah.
Didn't get it.
No, he didn't. And it was they actually gave him the right spot.
Otis on the stream says Ayuk is being wasted. We need a vertical quarterback play.
Well, again, I mean, here's the thing for the Niners, the elephant in the room, and even with Kyle, they did make a historic move before the season.
Yeah.
You know, one conversation that we just are not having around these parts and around this team is the conversation the Eagles are having, the conversation that the Washington football team is having, the conversation that the New York Giants are having, the conversation that all these teams are going to have. Like, can we upgrade the quarterback? Now, I don't know if this guy, how good he's going to be, but he's on the roster. Like that, their starting quarterback for the next several years is here. And now, as we transition, it's way too early to do this. The number one conversation, especially like when OTAs happen, right, and stuff like that, is this guy. Because that, to me, can Kyle go to another level as a play caller?
Right. Are there plays that he doesn't run that he has?
Yeah.
I would, yes, I think the answer
because
is yes.
I wonder if McVay, if you talked to him in the offseason and said, how different was your playbook? Not necessarily your playbook, but you as a game day play caller and what you would install against really good teams or critical spots with Matt than Jared Goff. Just the talent, just the physical arm talent, just, you know, how much more did you change as a play caller for just being more aggressive? I don't even, you know, just did you find yourself as a coach just go to different levels of the playbook that you wouldn't have touched with Jared Goff? And I would imagine the answer was yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can hurt them. Like part of the reason to be critical on the Rams sometimes this year and why the Niners could shove them around is they get a little pass happy. Like one element of Kyle that is pretty special is his run game adds the physical element to the team on top of the type players they have. But that's kind of their point of difference, right? They want to get in these slugfests where the Rams would much rather got into the 30s today and be like, score with us than play the game that they're holding on for dear life today, right?
Yeah.
They don't really want to play like that. That's why Aaron Donald does. And when that flipped and you looked at me, you're like, that ain't good. And I'm like, I don't know. And then he comes in, he's got the fucking blood on his helmet. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
The Aaron Donald hype speech on the sideline alarmed me watching.
Well, especially when he looks and he goes,
it's like, they're not tight.
When he looks and he goes 5. And that means Jalen's over there. Come over here, bro. Where I'm doing. And even Troy's like, he ain't a big talker.
No, that was alarming.
But see, to me, I think he thinks like we should be a tough team, but it's hard to create that tough. Like the Niners would love that guy, right? The type guys, just the way he's wired. Remember in the first playoff game, he's fighting people. Like the Niners have some guys like kind of headhunting. Like you got to have those guys. But when you pass it a lot, and I think sometimes you see it with the Chiefs, is it just takes away from your physicality. Now, when it's working, you can throw 40 points on the board. But if it's a little off, all of a sudden you're like, God, this team feels fucking discombobulated and soft. But it's same thing when the run's not working. You're like, God, nothing's working. So you can nitpick whenever things aren't working. But the Niners are just, in Kyle's play calling, is just very, very, I mean, down the stretch. I mean, part of, you know, if you wanted to do the group project thing with Jimmy Garoppolo, Deebo fucking Samuels was like having, you know, if you were like a junior in high school and you were in a group project, like the dude that's going on a full scholarship to Cal. Like I got the smartest guy in my group. Like, and at minimum, we're getting an A- on the project.
Well,
and he told me like, hey man, just kind of come hang.
I think the question when you go rookie quarterback, inexperienced, or now second year guy, Trey Lance, one of the questions will be, okay, his ceiling is higher. Is his floor also higher? Right? Can he just do the basic things that are required to make the offense just kind of churn so that you can have 12 play drives where you're running the football? That'll be one of the questions. But here's what's clear, right?
His floor to me is not as high today as Jimmy's. Like Jimmy,
it can't be.
Yeah,
but
it's not.
But whatever. Like the floor is not why you draft a quarterback. It's why the Mac Jones conversation.
But it does matter early on in the season when they're going to be like their expectations next year is going to be to make the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
That's where the Rams, as the Niners go through this transition, Rams are going to be coming off, I mean, potentially a Super Bowl victory, but definitely going to Super Bowl with Stafford coming back. It's now he's got all these reps. He has 4 play. He had played in 3
beat the
playoff
Niners
games.
in the NFC Championship game too. That helps.
And just the way you saw he carried himself, like he knew this is a big deal for his life.
No, he's good. He belongs. He's not Pat Stafford.
Fuck no, he's not.
Pad Stafford.
Pad Stafford.
Yeah. A lot of people on the stream are saying that was helmet paint, like Niners paint on Aaron Donald's helmet, but I think it was blood.
It felt like there was blood though on Jimmy's.
Jimmy had blood. A lot of people were bleeding.
Yeah.
But let's just go with blood. I mean, it was a game that if it was blood, I don't know if blood would stay that red on his helmet, but I say we go with blood. Comment, Kinlaw's a bust. Sermon's a bust. Well, we got to go there on January 20th, Sun U. Mostert's always hurt. They needed him. Niners had zero business even being here. Irony is before the year, like they talked like they were a Super Bowl team, and Joe Staley came on the podcast and said better potentially rostered 19 because they lost some games early. All the pressure came off of them, but no, the standard, they were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So the standard that is set for Kyle Shanahan and the organization is to compete for championships. Like, I don't think it's giving Kyle a pass to say they had a good year, but the standard is to be like, the goal is to be there. Like, it wasn't a free season, but I think he proved a lot. I will say this, and you pointed it out during the game, and I heard it I was driving over after, Xfinity let me down again, and to Middlekauff's house. And so I listened to the first couple series on radio.
Mansion.
3 and out. Took me like 10 minutes to get to his house, and then another 10 to get from the front gate to the valet.
We're in the pool house right now.
This is where I'll be staying. And Papa, 3 and out. Rams go 3 and out. Niners go 3 and out. Johnny Hecker, 53-yarder. Wisnowski, 43-yarder. After the Niners take the delay, so the Niners fail on the 3rd and 2, the use check inside handoff with Trent Williams, a little illegal motion.
So you are not allowed to turn.
You are not allowed to turn until the snap.
But why can I go, if I'm going behind the quarterback, can I go at a circle?
I don't think you can. I don't think you can circle towards the line until the ball snaps. Now you can stop, get set. But if you're going to be moving.
But you know how like the Niners have had like Elijah Mitchell or Deebo go behind Jimmy, but you're saying they're going straight?
That's true. I don't think you're allowed to be running towards the line of scrimmage at the snap.
That's a good question. I mean, I'm the opposite of a rule guy.
We'll have to check with Romo on that. But maybe Andy Reid can challenge
because that is like the CFL. We get running head starts. You are not allowed
maybe the CFL.
You are not allowed to do running head starts in professional in the NFL.
You can come to the line of scrimmage and stop, or you can go in motion straight across. You cannot turn towards the line. And here's the crazy part.
Trent started licking his lips.
I'm surprised McVay had not said to the officials before the game, because Trent did it last week too.
Yeah.
Like when he does it, watch for the illegal motion, which, honestly would have been a blessing for the Niners, for there been a penalty on that play. But anyway, they get, they end up
to go 3rd and 6 and then just run a slant to Kittle.
Yeah. Actually, so you make Shanahan do something he doesn't want to do, actually, which is throw the football, which the Niners
they would have had to throw it on 3rd and 7.
Would have been Juwan Jennings, but yeah.
Who had a sweet play.
Wisnowski, so the Niners are at midfield, basically. They take the delay. Wisnowski, you can tell off the punt, because I said, I got that one high. You can tell, I think he kind of got it up on his shin.
Are we sure he's good?
The ball went to the 17-yard line. It was not a good, given the circumstances in this moment, you would say this. He's not a weapon.
No.
He's not a weapon. And they play in a ton of close games, and they play against Johnny Hecker, who is a weapon.
Honestly, I wouldn't even, he doesn't even feel average right now. He feels below average when I'm just watching the ball in the air and having it not go very far. It feels like his punts are not going very far. Is there a chance that Kyle Shanahan got involved and just said, don't kick it as far so we can cover these punts? Because part of it is,
yeah.
But that
don't
seems
kick your coverage.
That seems a little extreme.